Hi, I'm back. I was gone for a week, had a lovely vacation with my children, skiing and visiting some family. Woo, spring is coming. Look at that, can you see outside? The forsythia and the plum blossoms are bringing a brightness to our gray days here in the Northwest. So I have been at the computer all day. Not my favorite thing to do, but I actually got some really good creative writing in about the dances. One in particular that I made went up on the stage in January that came from improvisational practices that I did in the outer world, in nature. And that was great, but then I had a bunch of communication to do with a lot of different people, with a lot of different moving parts. And I have a terrible desk situation ergonomically. So as I come out of those hours of important work, I find myself stiff and locked up in my upper, in my neck and my back. And also this feeling of floating from the virtual world that I've been engaging in, and a deep need to put my feet and myself back rooted into the now, into the earth. And I would really like to go outside, which I will do soon, and start moving some mulch and some rocks in my front garden. But instead, I'm here first with you to offer a mini practice in the art and practice of movement to cultivate patterns of further well-being and grounding and bringing oneself back to the present moment and to a center and to an opening. Because maybe sometimes you're in the middle of all those moving parts and all that email, and there's some stress and some mystery, confusion. Maybe in the finishing of your work, you actually don't finish. There's a sense of something hanging loose, something not complete, or a concern that it won't connect, that there's not enough you're doing. And we have to be able to let go and let the movements that we have done be enough, and let ourselves return to that spacious place where there's something moving that is more than our effort. Just like in the earth. Maybe this isn't the right idea, but the seed that is dropping roots and beginning to rise shoots into the above ground. Yeah, it is right. Into the light, into the enlightened place of knowledge. But there's stuff that happens underneath the surface. So let's get into a practice here. So I want to think about our lower half of our body. So go ahead and close your eyes and just drop your awareness into the lower half of your body. So we're thinking a lot today about upper, lower right now, thinking about the lower body. And picture the bottom of your feet like those multiple thousands of root tendrils coming out from the bottom of your feet, and just finding an absolute concrete stuckness, but in a positive way, into the earth, that you are so rooted that nothing will pull you from the earth. And if you've pulled certain kind of weeds, like clover, for example, it is a lot of roots that are very much connected deeply into not being taken away from the earth. And as your feet are planted and grounded, slowly begin to bend your knees, flexing in the ankles. Maybe begin to circle your hips. Just noticing yourself pressing down into the earth, pushing down into the earth further, feeling those roots drawing you down deeper. And as you do this, you can shift your weight into your right and to your left. You can push out of this downward pull as you rise and stretch the joints of your lower body. You can have your legs wide apart or underneath you. And just stay with that practice of feeling the lower half of your body connected deeply. And as you push to the right and to the left, maybe toward your toes or into your heels with your hips, just noticing how you can keep your feet suction cupped and pushing into the floor deeper. Really feeling the lower half of your body. I worked with a woman, a good friend, who when the first time she took the art and practice of movement with me, she said it was the first time she actually felt the lower half of her body connected to the ground. I'm sure many of you can relate to that. And then rising this awareness, notice how your upper body just sits atop your lower body, supported by this grounding, this pressure of pushing downward while also feeling an energy moving upward into the spine and into the arms and the head. And then let yourself find stillness in the lower half. And breathe into the shoulders and circle the shoulders, rising the shoulders up to the ears. As you inhale and exhale, maybe repeating that in the opposite direction. Maybe inhaling and circling your head. And each time you inhale, really imagining an expansiveness taking shape in the back of your neck in particular. And as you're circling, feel for the back of your heart. Imagine the warm sun on the back of your heart. Picture a flower opening, like the flowers that I showed you, the plum blossoms, the forsythia opening in the back of the heart and the front of the heart. And allow yourself to move the arms in any way that feels like an opening. Feel this opening of the upper body supported from the lower body. And then I want to take us to an exercise I learned from my teacher, Thea Elijah, from her work called Whole Heart Connection. And make a fist in one of your hands and place it in front of your heart. And then place the other hand over your heart. So there's a little bit of a combining of her exercise with new places I've taken this heart opening exercise. And with that other hand gently wrapped like a blanket around your heart. Imagine the lungs around the heart. And take many deep breaths in, inhaling and exhaling, and slowly opening the hand. And see if you can open this hand in relationship to opening your heart, in relationship to creating movement between the heart and the lungs. And Thea says always don't rush it, but I want to challenge us also to really breathe energy to open into the heart, to open the lungs and the relationship between the breath and the opening and expanding. And as your hand that was the fist that is the opening heart begins to open, also the lungs widen and open. And imagine this in a three-dimensional way as your hand rotates around your heart opening and the heart opens as you inhale and exhale. And then imagine this heart and lung and two hands become larger into a greater shape that's representational of your entire upper body, opening the back of the heart and all the ribs and behind the kidneys, and opening the front and the side and the diagonals of the upper body. Maybe your arms begin to open from your lungs and from this wide, spacious opening of the heart into the arms, like wings. Just following this motion of movement in the wings, from the lungs, from the opening of the heart, from the movement of the heart, the lungs, around and sideways. And really this is happening. If you're beginning to move your rib cage, you are actually sliding and massaging, thanks to Eric Franklin, who taught this to me through his books a long time ago. You're sliding and massaging the lungs and the heart around each other, opening and widening. I encourage you to feel, as you're opening the upper body and moving the upper body in any way you feel called, to feel that ground base, the support of the push of the energy of the lower body into the rooted earth, and rising this freedom and this movement into the upper body. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Try it with me. Close your eyes, listen to my words, maybe watch it the first time. Figure out where your impulses to move and your own art and practice of movement is calling from within you to create a beautiful art of your life. Take these practices into whatever it is that you do out there. Now I think I'm actually gonna go get in that dirt out there and help create more health for my garden. See you next week.